How's it going, everybody? It's Tuesday. We're going to go over some plays in daily fantasy on DraftKings for Tuesday night. I'm going to spend the next 30 or 45 minutes taking questions from our chat. We're going to look at the DraftKings screen when we get some questions that we have to parse through, look at some player box scores, look at matchups for this evening, and see if we can discern the best plays for tonight. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, I do one of these NBA shows. The rest of the shows from the week that we do right here on twitch.tv slash al_smizzle are going to be NFL shows, and if you want to get involved, you can subscribe there. Very tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 subs always available, and you can subscribe absolutely free with a Twitch Prime sub linking your Amazon account to your Twitch Prime. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for all the support that we've been getting over there. Leave a comment and smash that like button. Let's see if we can get this over 250 likes today. Would be awesome by the time lock rolls around. So let's get to the questions. What do we got? You want to buy a song for the stream? People have done it. I honestly don't know how to do it. Like, you just redeem your Smizbucks. You get your Smizbucks by watching. The more minutes you watch on Twitch, and then every like 5 minutes, it gives people like crates that you can open up. Simmons and Covington with Embiid out. See, the first thing I was like, oh, Embiid's out. This is what I said yesterday. Embiid's out. He's going to be out Tuesday. Nice. It's going to open up some value. And then I was like, ooh, Utah. So like everybody's going to want to play players on Philly, you know. But, like, do you want to run Rashawn Holmes into Rudy Gobert? Like, I think that Covington's pretty solid. I think Simmons has a really high floor just for how involved he is. Gets involved with rebounds and gets involved with assists, a couple of steals, a block, and he chips in with points. I think they're probably your two maybe safest guys to go with. I think Charic is still cheap enough to go after. Rashawn Holmes is a guy I would normally target in games that Embiid's out, but I don't know if I want to just bang heads with him. I think that there's a lot of Utah guys that have good value as well. Top two guys to pay up for, probably Antetokounmpo would be one. The first one that I want to go get. Maybe Jokic as well would probably be another one. Studfi with a whole lot of bits. Thank you guys very much for the support, the bit donations. If you want to get your bit donation read out, if you want to type a message, just change the number to 500 bits or more. The Twitch bot will read it out for you. And any donations, PayPal donations, linked down below in the chat, $5 or more. You can read that one out as well. Is Mitchell the Utah value play? Maybe. I don't know how great a value he actually is. Let's take a look at him real quick. Let me pull him up. And we talked about him on the last show, right? It's all about minutes for him because he's definitely a per minute performer because of his scoring ability. Now, if you think that in this game he's going to top 25 minutes, then I think he's fine. If you think he's going to play less than 25 minutes, then no. But look how much his minutes have fluctuated just in the last 4 games. From 17, doubled that up to 34, then stayed at 32, then came down to 25. So his range is not easy. You know, it's not a very predictable range. Looking at my stuff, I have him at 30 minutes today. I think he's fine. You know, I do think that there is some risk there. There's a lot of Utah guys that we want to play. I think Rubio's in play. I think Gobert is in play. A little bit too cheap at the price point that he's at. Mitchell being another one that we just talked about. I think there's a lot of guys that you want to look at least on Utah, which is strange for me because I never really target Utah a ton. LeBron narrative after his Instagram picture. LeBron's been hot fire all year, so like I don't have a problem with LeBron. I said this the other night before his explosion, his 90-point fantasy point explosion. Somebody said, is LeBron a good play tonight? And I said, I'm never going to tell you that LeBron is a bad play. He's the GOAT. Hood is sucking Joe Johnson out. Yeah, I get it. I mean, Hood's fine. I think Hood's fine tonight, and I also think that Mitchell's all right. Like, there's a lot of Utah plays. I just don't want to have 4 Utah plays in my lineup. Is Patty Mills a good value play tonight? Yeah, he's interesting, but understand that you're playing a Popovich player, and you know he's been somebody that's popped on, and I don't mean popped like Popovich, but like he's somebody that's popped in a lot of people's models recently, depending on whatever projection site you use. But, like, look at his production. 28, 28, 26. That's awesome. He's 3,900. He's exceeded value for 2 straight games, but, like, 28 minutes in this game only had 16 against Golden State. Right? Against Boston, 18, 28 here. Missed value again. Would have missed value at 3,900. 21 minutes. Would have missed value at 3,900. 26 minutes. Massively missed value at that price. His production in daily fantasy depends on this right here. right? His ability to get up shots and his ability to make shots. If you look at his last couple of games, he has shot 60 and 57% from three-point range. That is not sustainable for anybody, especially Patty Mills. He has to make shots for you to actually cash in. 10.5 of his fantasy points from here came from three-pointers. And on this one, you're talking about what? 15 of his fantasy points came from there? He's got to make three-pointers. 14, of his fantasy points came from three-pointers. He's got to make three-pointers in order for him to reach value today. I think that he's going to show up in a lot of people's optimals. I think that he is a good tournament play. I think you're going to see him in a lot of cash game lineups. I don't know that he's somebody that is necessary with all the value that's out there tonight. Nurkic and is George worth it with potential blowout? You guys know how I feel about blowouts, right? We've talked about this in the past. I think that a lot of them are overrated. If it's a situation where the team has 110 points and it's 110 to 80 at the end of the third quarter, the starters have already gotten theirs, even though they're not going to play the fourth quarter. Obviously, you would have gotten more goodness if they did. But it's rare that a game's going to be like a 40-point game at halftime, like 70 to 30 at halftime, and they only play like maybe one half of the third quarter. In a blowout, your guys are still going to get 30 minutes, and if they're that efficient, they're going to score a ton of fantasy points. Any interest in LeVert now with the Nets being thin? Possibly. Nurkic, Jokic, or Turner? Give me Jokic. Giannis and Braun, okay pairing for GPPs tonight? Always. If you can find the value, and I don't think that you're going to have that much trouble finding value this evening, especially on DK, you can definitely go that route in tournaments and try and capture all the upside and hope that your value plays smash. If your value plays score between 25 and 30 points each at 4K and below, if you have those 3 or 4 guys at that price and below that each get you 25 to 30 fantasy points, and those 2 guys each reach their projection, or at least close in on their ceiling with 60, 55 to 70 fantasy points, you're putting yourself in really good shape. It's going to depend on a lot of things. Joker for cash or save the extra 1,700 with Millsap. Love the matchup with Brooklyn. I'm good with both of them tonight. I want to attack Brooklyn as much as I can and as often as I can. Joe Harris smash night. Interesting. Not against that. Quincy Acey. I never play Quincy Acey. He's somebody that I've never gotten right when he's a value play. Is this a Jamal Murray blow up spot? Yeah, I've seen him be he's a guy that can score. And as we've talked about before, the 2 highest correlations between real life and fantasy scoring is A, points, scoring on court points, and B, minutes played. So you get a guy like Jamal Murray who can score, you play him a ton of minutes against a bad opponent that can't stop him, and there you have it. It's pretty easy. Becomes kind of an easy game at that point. Best value play under 4K? There's a few. I probably think Wes Johnson's going to get a ton of minutes tonight. I'd lean towards him as the top value play. Boogie or Giannis? I want Giannis. Would I pick Porzingis over Freak? Same potential points with savings. Maybe. People are nuts over Porzingis tonight. Like, I was just asked this question on DK Live. He can have big games, right? Obviously, he's a very talented player. This isn't going to happen every night. 6 blocks just is not going to be a thing, especially where a guy who averages 2.2, right? So let's understand that. So his 64-point game comes on an outlier here and an outlier here, right? On the season, he is shooting 50%, and in this game, he shot 62.5%. In this game, he shot 60%. He's probably going to settle in somewhere around here or here is where he's going to be. I love the amount of shots that they're getting him. They have to develop this guy as a big-time scorer. I disagree that he has the same ceiling as Giannis. Knowing that this is what Giannis can do on a game-to-game basis, even though he hasn't in 4 games. Going up against Cleveland, though, this is a specific situation where players get up for playing against LeBron James, especially wing players who have to guard him and deal with him. Cleveland has been horrible in terms of defensive efficiency. I guess you could call it a deficiency. and points allowed. This looks like a blow up spot for Giannis. I would much rather go with Giannis, especially seeing that he's 10.8 now. You're getting a discount where he was 12.5, and you still got the ability to get up to 60 fantasy points plus with somebody like him, averaging 56.3 on the season. Thoughts on Kemba Walker in Madison Square Garden? I don't usually play Kemba on the road. Maybe I'm too married to that fact. It's going to be really small sample size theater here, like looking at this, so it's really not going to matter. But even look, just in 5 and 5, 44 at home, 30 on the road. This goes back years with Kemba Walker. Kemba is somebody that you want to play at home, not somebody you want to play on the road. GPP only for me on the road, right? Somebody that I only want to play in GPPs on the road. I don't care almost what his price is. The upside is there when he plays at home, not on the road. Nurk, could you play against Memphis? Yeah, I'm fine with Nurk, but I think there's better centers in play. I mean, I'd prefer to go with Jokic. I prefer to go with Gobert over him. Kemba loves the Garden. I know. He had his Big East tournament there, everything. I get it. You're playing it's not even like BVP, batter versus pitcher. You're playing like baller versus stadium at that point. Like I said, he's a GPP play to me. I'm not saying and I don't say everybody's a GPP play, right? I'm not that guy. I go with kind of a small allocation of players, especially if you've tracked any of my lineups, right? So Kemba does have 40, 50 point upside. It's just less likely to get there on the road, regardless of what stadium he's playing in. Who is the Philly value play? That's really the problem, right? Is trying to figure out against Utah which guy on Philly we want to go after. So at the high end, as good as they are against wings, I love Ben Simmons because of his floor. Anybody that gets this close to triple doubles, look at this, is insane. That is insanity for a rookie or a veteran or anyone to average 9.8 rebounds and 8.2 assists. That is absolutely insane. It's just gross that anybody can come in and do that. You have blocks upside, you have steals upside, and at 8,800, if he's going to stay in that 8K range, I love him for GPPs. Now, I know we're talking about value plays. TJ McConnell, somebody that I think is very interesting. JJ Redick, hit or miss, GPP only for me. Was a big hit this night, was a big miss this night. That's what you're going to see. When his shot is falling, he's going to be a huge play. When it's not, he needs 26 points to reach value. He's averaging 25.5, so he's not a terrible play. But notice that he's not a guy that just goes out and gets you between 22 and 30 points every single night. He massively fluctuates, right? Big fluctuations, big swings. Even if you take out his high game, 47, his low game, 13, 16, 16, 34, he's not just going to land. He's either going to miss value and crush your lineups, or he's going to really help you out a ton. At the low end, Rashawn Holmes is somebody that a lot of people are going to focus on. And I love Rashawn Holmes' game. I don't know that I want to go after it tonight. I don't know how efficient he can be against Favors and Gobert. In my opinion, I think maybe somebody like Charic, maybe somebody like McConnell. I'm not looking for absolute bargain basement value. I don't think that Amir Johnson's going to get enough minutes. They've said he's going to come off the bench. I think that the veteran plays about the same amount of minutes that he normally plays. I think there's enough value on the board on a 10-game slate that you don't have to jam players against Utah, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Crab night. People have been on Crab a lot recently. People have been on Crab a lot recently, right? Because his minutes have come up because of the injuries that have gone around. 4,300. This is where he's fallen. If he plays, if you think he's going to play that many minutes tonight, then I'm not against him. What did I do here? Hold on. Hold, please. Penn State fan 888, thank you very much for the new sub. Appreciate you blowing up the cup, sending bits and subs and everything everywhere. Crab starting over Levert now. I see. And they had the Rondé Hollis Jefferson injury last game. What is his status right now? Because I checked it earlier, but I've been working and have not found out what they're going to do. Will not play tonight. Yeah, a lot of more minutes. Yeah, I get Crab. Crab's fine. Henson, good value play tonight. Again, another hit or miss guy. He's out. He's out. He's out. Booker out. He's out. I get it. Guys, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Look at the chat. Look at it. He's out. He's out. He's out. He's out. Can pick one Brooklyn play. Hold on. Let's go to Brooklyn here. Can pick one Brooklyn play. It's not going to be Quincy Acey for me. But I understand that people are going to play him. James Lovely, 1975. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Mozzie never going to play 25 minutes, right? So he's out. Crab definitely going to play his minutes. I'm fine with him, and they need to score. Levert, another one that should play higher than 23 minutes, probably closer to 25 to 30. 4,600. I don't know that he does enough for me to love that play. I'm looking for front court players. I mean, yeah, maybe we... Dinwiddie's a backcourt guy. I mean, you're looking to split the 96 minutes between center and power forward to figure out where your allocation is going to be at those three positions. Maybe they go small and put Crab there a little bit, even though he's very small for that position. They just don't have very much front court guys that they can play. It's going to be very interesting to see how those minutes break down. Check out Acey's shot attempts. Yeah, 0 for 8 last game. Yeah, that's gross. I mean, look, if he's going to play 25 to 30 minutes, then I guess I'm interested, but like I'm not going to like it. Russell tonight on a back-to-back, he's going to get all the shots he can handle. He's young. The game is in Denver though, second half of a back-to-back. That to me is more of the problem. Back-to-back with travel going to the altitude. Just know that he's going to get a ton of usage. I don't like AC. I don't. I really don't. You took down the fan. S. Boynton says that he took down, and I lost it, the late night shot yesterday. That's 2 in a week. Had the clutch shot win last week. Congratulations, dude. Nice hit. I like hearing when you guys win. It's awesome. If he hits a couple of shots, he should each value easy. I agree if he plays 25 minutes. Like I said, I don't hate it. It's just one of those, like, it just makes you feel like just not clean. Who's the second Nugget play after Jokic? Maybe Murray? I mean, I like Millsap at 6,800. I think he's too cheap and finally starting to chip in and understand stuff. And if he's going to play his normal 34 minutes, it's going to be hard for him to miss value against a depleted front court. I think that Murray, interesting at 5,400. Moutier, what type of minutes is Moutier playing? He's playing a ton now. Yeah, his minutes have come up and he's still too cheap. Just realize that they may go deeper in rotation and shorten runs for these guys in the first and second quarters just to keep everybody fresh. If this game does get out of hand, I'm not saying I don't try to predict blowouts, but I want guys that chip in multiple categories. That's why I'd rather pay up for Jokic, pay up for Millsap. Go with guys that do more than just score in that game. Rubio, I think Rubio is fine. Moutier plays in blowouts. I agree. He's not really their starting guy. So if it does get out of hand, he's going to play the backup minutes. Thoughts on Collison? I have not thought about Collison today at all. And maybe that's wrong. But like, I'm just not focused on him at point guard. I think that there's so many other plays. Which Buck is my favorite after Giannis? Probably Brogdon. Like, Brogdon's a mystery to me because like he doesn't always have big days or like really ever. His ceiling isn't huge. He's never going to have like a 50-point fantasy unless something goes haywire. But he kind of lives between 27 and 40. And at his price, that's fine for me. Right? Like that's okay. If he gets you 33, 34 points, great. Lock it up and move on to the next position for average salary. MT27, thank you very much. James Lovely, I did get you earlier. MT, thank you for the sub and welcome to the club. If you guys are new to the channel, appreciate all 380 of you that are viewing the stream right now. If you're new to the channel, click the follow button up above. It's like there. And make sure notifications are on, and the Twitch app or your email will alert you that I'm live. You don't have to rely strictly on me, tweeting it out or whatever. Also, If you want to take part in the chat is always going to be locked down to subscribers only. The best way to get involved is to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Link right there in the chat. You can subscribe absolutely free if you have Amazon Prime. Do you have Amazon Prime? It's 2017. You damn right you have Amazon Prime. You can get a free sub token, ad-free viewing all over Twitch. You can apply to this channel and take part in the chat and the sub-only channels in Discord for free. If you want to get involved for a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 sub, those are also there. Click that subscribe button up above to find them. Extra added bonus, you can jump in the Discord. Mubot, thank you very much for putting that out there. Appreciate you, Mubot. You can continue the chat. People talk about lineups and decisions all day long for NFL and NBA and the sub-only channels there. And yeah, I feel like Jeff Goldblum. So there it is. Do I think Gortat's a good play? I play more Gortat than most people do. Tonight, I don't think that you need to go Gortat. I like guys like Jokic, Gobert, Millsap center eligible, Nurkic. We just talked about Quincy Ace if you want an absolute punt. Rashawn Holmes if you want to butt heads. Like, there's so many centers out there that I don't know that he's necessary. Rula, let me get this correct. Is 4 sub 4K guys too many cheapies? No. We've talked about how I like to build lineups on a day-to-day basis in NBA. I want to find 3 values that I think are going to give me the best chance at reaching and or exceeding value. Those are the first guys in my lineup. Then I pick 2 guys that are 8K and above, right? And all the way up to like 12K. Whatever the 2 guys are, the 2 studs that I feel I have to have most at 8K to maximum salary. Plug those 2 guys in. That gives you 5 of your 8 players on DraftKings. Start with the values, move to the studs. After you get those 5 plugged in, then you can look at how much average salary you have remaining, and you can build your lineup however you have to. If you want to go ultimate stars and scrubs, plug 2 more value plays and 1 more stud. If you want to go balance, plug 3 guys that are like 7K or 6K, whatever you have left, into your lineup. If you can go like an 8K guy, a 5K guy, and a 4K guy. Whatever works best with your points remaining, try and fill those first 5 slots with 3 value plays that you think are the best on the board, your 2 studs that you want. Hopefully you can get those into your locked spots, right? And when I say locked spots, I mean your point guard, your shooting guard, your small forward, your power forward, and your center spots, right? You don't want to fill if you can't. I mean, I don't care if I do, but like, ideally, if those guys play all those 5 positions, and with multi-position eligibility on DK, it's not hard to fill mostly at least 4 of these spots with those 5 players. That gives you maximum flexibility to build the lineup that you want with your flex spots, the guard and the forward, and then your utility spot down at the bottom. So that's the way I go about building a lineup. I literally do that every single day. I suggest that you do too if you're struggling with NBA. Brandon MQ, hashtag the process. Exactly. That's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Play everyone versus Cleveland while you can. They're a mess. I agree. Attack defensive inefficiency, guys. Whether it's versus position, overall, points allowed, whatever. Thoughts on Kevin Love tonight? I'm all right with him. I don't think he's horrible. You know, big chance at a double-double. Don't know that he's necessary. There's a lot of value in any time that you get a 10-game slate or a 12-game slate, you're going to have a lot of value. So those games, those slates, I tend to be more stars and scrubsy than on shorter slates because there's just more value to be had, right? And like, you guys know that I like going stars and scrubs more often than most people because I feel that lends itself to the best way to be consistent on DK. Because if your scrubs miss, they're not missing by all that much if they're minimum salary. If they're 3K to 4K, they're not missing by all that much. Like if Quincy Acey, let's say, right? If he's somebody that I play tonight, or Wesley Johnson, if he's somebody that I end up playing in my main lineup tonight, if they score like 15 and 17 points together when I needed 20 and 19 out of them, I'm not missing by much. It's like 10 points total that I'm missing value on those guys. But if the studs that I'm getting, if they get me those 50 to 60 points that they should get for the salary that I'm spending on them, I'm in a much better position than somebody else who's trying to cobble that together with 6K guys. Without giving an exact equation, how do you project minutes? I don't know how to put that. Like, there's no, like, I don't have like a system that I run it through. You look at the positions. Right? Look at the team that's playing. And then after you look at the team that's playing, realize that there are 48 minutes to play point guard, 96 minutes on the wing, that's shooting guard and small forward. There are 96 minutes at power forward and center in the post. Okay? So find all the guys that can play those minutes for that position if players are out, and then say, okay, well, this is how I think it's going to break down this evening. And that's how you project minutes. Just go by a team-by-team basis. Bojan as a pivot off of Mitchell on DK for GPPs. Yeah, I get what you're doing there. Ben Simmons tonight. In GPP, Ben Simmons every night. Like, I made a comment the other day, and, like, people tried to jump on it because it was early in the game, and people love jumping on comments early in games. I was like, wow, Ben Simmons is 10% owned on both sites tonight. And people said, what, too high? Like, he's not doing that well. And he ended with like 50-something fantasy points. Anybody that can chip in across the board as much as he can is always going to have a really high floor. And if he misses value, it's not going to be by much unless he fouls out or gets 2 techs or gets injured, right? And that's going to happen or can happen to just about anybody on any slate. But if he plays his normal allocation of minutes, regardless of the opponent, even on an inefficient night, he's going to get you close to value or closer to value than somebody who just relies on scoring on a night in, night out basis with having triple-double, double-double, triple-double upside. Thoughts on Pau Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge? They've been consistent, guys. As much as people want to get after Pau Gasol for just being old and, wow, we can't play him and it's scary and blah, 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 he's been really consistent, at least with his minutes, even though his scoring has been inconsistent, right? 7 points, 5 points here on 2 of 11 shooting. He is not somebody who's going to shoot 20% from the field. He is getting older, so that is going to take a hit. His ability to get 10 rebounds tonight is not there anymore. But at 5.7K, I don't know if I really want him tonight. I am more interested in getting Aldridge at his 8.2, especially in tournaments. I think he's cash game viable. You know you're going to get shots. You know you're going to get points. Highest correlated thing between real life and fantasy scoring is the points. You have a chance at a double-double. You know you're going to get a ton of shots. You know he's going to get to the free throw line. Nobody's a safe play, but LaMarcus Aldridge is definitely a solid play at 8.2. Brooklyn giving up 116 a game. Where's the value on the Nuggets? The premiums, the forwards, in my opinion. Like, I think the mid-range to high is a good value tonight for them. They just have a lot of guards in the rotation. So any one of them could have a big night. There's no, like, plug for me because there's, like, 5 guards. It's like, that's the issue. Thoughts on James Ennis for GPPs? Haven't thought about him. Have not thought about Ennis. Give me 2 seconds. I got to pull him up in, like, the projections. I got to see where he is. Come on. And I got to see what he's done. I'll let you guys see what we're doing. Not really all that interested. Doesn't chip in a lot in rebounds and assists. Doesn't really get a lot of shots. I know he's 4K and he needs like 24 points to reach value. I think there are better value plays. I honestly do. Ventura College? You from out here in California, Rilla? Or is it just Rue, LA? You are from LA. Do I think Tyreek Evans is starting to get overpriced? I think Tyreek Evans is a big part of that offense. You know? They need him to score because they don't have a lot of guys that can create their own shots. As I've said a few times, easiest correlation is points scored. You want players that get this. He does need, however, mid-30s points to pay off value. He does have upside. I preferred him on the games when they were missing players. I think he's fine for a tournament tonight. He's definitely not somebody I want in a cash game lineup. A little bit too much variance and way too heavily reliable on his scoring output, although he is getting the shots in order to make that happen. But 10 of 16 shooting and 13 of 20 shooting is definitely not who Tyreek Evans is on a night in, night out basis. Shooting better than he's shot in many, many years right now with 48% from the field. It's amazing you were out of town for a few days and you feel behind with latest player trends, etc. Exactly. That's why I don't try and like go over this on an, like without looking at it. Anytime somebody asks me a question about a player, like I go over this stuff constantly, but like if you bring up a player, I'm going to look at him. I'm going to look really deeply into him with their player card just to see kind of what they've been up to recently to refresh myself as many times as possible. Can you talk about Boogie and Glassman Davis tonight? What do you guys like with which one do you like? Do you like Boogie or do you like the Brow? Chat. I'll leave it to you. Because I like crowdsourcing this. I want your guys' opinions while I pull them up. They're both pretty fantastic. Boogie, 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 Brow. Boogie, 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 Brow. Boogie Cash, Brow, GPP. Brow, Davis, AD, Boogie, Boogie. AD tonight, Boog, Fading, Ducks. I mean, here's me. Okay, I see where so basically y'all are just split. So the chat is just kind of split. I think that they project pretty close, or at least close enough. They're priced close enough. Why aren't we just doing that? For cash, right? In your main lineup, why aren't we just doing that? Right? Now, tournaments, I get, right? You want to go after something different. Playing a ton of minutes, Boogie. You know, massive upside. Brow, same sort of thing. Chips in more with steals and blocks, right? 3 blocks. Shoots great. I like both of them. I'll probably have equal shares of both in GPPs. I don't know that I want to take a stand on one versus the other. But I don't think either are a play for me in cash. I prefer Giannis to both. If I was going to pick one, it would probably be Boogie for cash games. If you're just like, well, I'm just going to do it. Boogie Brown never get a Giannis 40. Okay, I don't get what that means, but okay. 60-point ceiling versus 80. No, I think both of those guys have an 80-point ceiling. Double center tonight. Jokic and Gobert, says M. Kyle H. I'm not against that. Joe Harris with everyone out, or Wes Johnson for 3.5 forward punt. I like Wes. I do like Wes, but we can take a look at Harris. I think he's fine too. You know, with the minutes he played last game against Phoenix in a close game, right? So this wasn't a blowout. This was a close game. Lakers was somewhat of a close game. Playing 23 and 25 minutes for 35K or 3,500 is 3.5K is really interesting, right? Something that you do want to pay attention to. You do not want to ignore. I think he's fine. I don't know that he's definitely the guy that I want to, you know, I'd rather have Wes Johnson. You know, but I don't hate Joe Harris. Just realize this. Same thing, right? Rebounds, assists. And rebounds, assists per minute, right? Very important. Look at his rebounds and assists per minute. He's not helping there. This is where he's making all his money. 18 points, 27 points. 10 points, 13 points. 16 points, 20 points. He has to score. If he does not score, he misses value. There's no other way for him to get there. And this game, he threw in a block and a steal, something he does not do. Right? So, like, he has to score for you to get there. So I prefer Wes Johnson to him. Should play equal to more minutes, probably Wes. Maybe 32, 33 for Wes if Gallinari's out. I think he's a better path to value. Auto and cash, probably not for me. Rather eat chalk and play Wesley Johnson. I agree, Brandon. Why Wes? He doesn't do anything different from what James Ennis does, and he has a good chance of playing less minutes. I don't think that... Okay. He's a good corner shooter on a team where he gets to play off the ball. He chips in with rebounds when he plays a ton of minutes, and that offense for the Clippers right now runs a lot through Blake and a lot through Danilo Gallinari. If Gallinari's out, Wes Johnson is somebody who can create offense at least a little bit, and offense will run through him a hair this evening if he plays 30 minutes. Gobert and Jokic safe and DK Cash. I think they're both fine. Yeah, Gallo's out. Exactly. That's what I thought. And then there's like the game theory part of it if you're playing cash games, right? Where like, how risk averse are you? Do you want to take the chalk play and just say, okay, everybody's going to have this guy, 55, 60% are going to have this guy. And if he fails, I still can win my head-to-heads and I can still win my 50-50s where over half the field is going to have this guy. Or do you want to go the contrarian route? And if he pays off, what if Wes Johnson messes around and has like 26 fantasy points, 24 and a half fantasy points, where like he exceeds value, right? Now you got to chase and you got to hope that the guy that you faded him for at least matches that. So like in tournaments, I get it 100%. In cash games, it's a different game, especially the higher in stakes that you move up. Marcus Gasol will play today, and Chalmers is available to play. Yeah, also 2 guys, and Evans is there, and Conley's there. There's a lot of dudes on the wing. That or Tyreek Evans at forward. For cash or like that sounds like a GPP question to me. Give me Tyreek Evans for GPP. Bron's killing you with his cryptic Insta. LeBron's always doing stuff like that. Give me a couple more questions and then we'll end the show. Lillard and GPPs, always. Do I like Holmes and cash? I'd prefer not if I don't have to, but I get what you're doing. I'm not. It's one of those things where like I'm on the fence. He's cash game viable because of the increase in minutes that he's going to get, but he's got to bang his head up against Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors all night. I'm never a fan of that. Amir Johnson tonight, probably not for me. Jay Lamb, fine for GPPs. Do I care about multiple players being on the same team in GPPs at all? No, I don't mind that at all, especially not in GPP. Red Dot says, I like bacon. Yeah, bacon's delicious. Covington or Carroll GPP, give me Covington. Any 3K punts besides AC? Wes Johnson would be my second favorite. Not exactly 3K, but 3.4. And I think that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. If you're still watching on YouTube, good luck this evening. Smash that like button if you can. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so before you get out of here. And we will catch you tomorrow, Wednesday, at the same time, a little bit different time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/al_smizzle for the NBA question and answer lineup